Hey Spectrum, welcome to the premiere production show of Noise News. I'm Preston.
And I'm Jesse.
You want to know what's not going to be here next year?
What?
The Youth for Youth Service Learning Group. Let's head over to Callie and Paul for their story on this subject.
Spectrum High School has had many successful service learning programs, Youth for Youth being one of the most. As most students know, next year's service learning is being restructured. Youth for Youth is one program that is being taken out of the curriculum. Youth for Youth was started when Spectrum first began service learning. Coach Churchill began the group with only a dozen members and since then has grown over 30 members almost every year.
I'm not sure why I told our group that it was going to fall apart on that particular Wednesday, but I felt like the kids needed to know because in there is a bunch of kids, like probably almost a dozen I would say, I don't know, that have been with our group and have stuck with it for multiple years.
Many students such as Bethany Hinckley and Braden Ashfeld have been with the group for many years. They both enjoy it very much.
It was in my heart to tell them, and the looks on their face, I knew it was disheartening for them as well.
I wish I could go on longer. It's really been awesome to be a part of it, and I hope we can still do the Toys for Tots in the future.
For me, I wish it didn't have to end, especially on this note. Like, it's not a choice. We're kind of being forced to, which sucks. But it's just been really cool to get with a group of kids that are as passionate about helping as I like to think I am, and to see others build this passion, because you get all these 7th graders in there and they don't really know what this group is about. They've heard, oh, we go on field trips, this is so cool, but then they see the progress and then they come back the next year because they see, wow, this is really cool, I'm helping so many people, and it's just that spark that I'm gonna miss.
But again, I think this will be the best to just end on a great note and just see what ends up happening next year.
This is the last year that the group will be part of the service learning curriculum. Churchill and Remick have done a lot for it, and we hope they continue on to bigger and better things. Callie and Paul, Noise News.
That's so sad. You know what else we're getting next year? We're getting a new building for the 7th and 8th graders.
Let's go to Brittany and Jesse for the story about our new building.
Next year, Spectrum is adding a 7th and 8th grade building. We sat down and talked to Mr. Heineke to discuss the plans for the building and next school year.
So the high school classrooms, we have the College and Career Center that's coming. So some teachers will be shifted into the classrooms that the teachers, 7th and 8th grade teachers, are leaving. Some of those teachers will shift, so some movement will happen there. And then for sure those lower classroom areas, those will be gutted, and then we will be building the College and Career Center.
As for teachers and students, Spectrum is not planning on getting a lot of new teachers or students next school year.
So new teachers for the 7th and 8th grade building, the answer really is probably not. I mean, things are still in flux, which we're looking at staffing and numbers and such for next year. But the easy answer would be probably not, because the 7th and 8th grade teachers that are over at the high school site are going to shift over to the 7th and 8th grade site. So when I say it's still maybe in flux, because we got to just look at numbers and things in general, but it isn't going to add teachers just because of the site itself.
He explained to us a little bit about what the plans are for the 7th and 8th grade building.
The site itself, the structure itself will remain the same, and it's being completely gutted out and then being shaped into something similar to what we have here at this site. Both sites are pretty similar in that regard.
We asked what some of the benefits are with having the 7th and 8th grade building, and he told us from the high school perspective it will feel and seem more like a high school.
Well, one thing for sure is the nice piece of being here as a 6th grade community and then transitioning to still the middle school community and not having to go immediately to the high school. So that's a pretty big leap for a 7th grader from 6th to 7th grade. And just be able to have that nice transition and to learn what middle school is about, and then be able to know the grade above you and below you as you're in the 7th and 8th grade site. It also will, from the high school perspective, to truly, I'm excited for that to really feel and seem a little bit more like a high school. It does now, but even more so because you won't have those middle schoolers over there. There'll be some, again, the College and Career Center area, just some of the pieces that are in play will make it a really exciting place.
We are excited to see the plans for next year unfold. This has been Jesse and Brittany, Noise News. That was a great story.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all the changes next year.
I'll have to visit next year.
Definitely. Now let's go over to a profile story on one of Spectrum's own, Noah Shaver.
Great time management is a skill that not many people possess. However, there is one student at Spectrum who excels when time is limited. Noah Shaber.
I go to school during the day, and then right when I get home I do homework and I make sure that I finish as much as I can. Then I go to work, I try my best to do as well of the job as I can, and then I go straight home. If I haven't finished my homework, then do that.
Noah currently takes cash classes and works at Pizza Ranch, yet he still maintains a 4.082 GPA.
I just make time when I can. I do homework right when I get home, and then if I work at night, then I just drive straight there and then drive home and then do homework and then socialize when I can.
Free time for most students at Spectrum is short, but it especially is for Noah.
Well, I include socializing into my free time, so I would say about 2 hours a night, but without socializing, probably like an hour or so.
He even finds times for serving others.
Yeah, I volunteer in the community. I help at a church called Gateway in town. I also am a frequent helper at Arwell.
He often comes home to few family members.
I live with my mother, and then I also live with my aunt, uncle, and then my 4 cousins. So it is a small family, but I live with my extended family, so that's kind of fun. My mom works nights, so normally it's just me and then my cousins at home.
Noah is one of many examples at our school of how hard work and dedication can overcome any obstacle. Parker Brown, Preston Holmes, and Johnny Gertz. Noise News. You know, Jesse, we've got a really good leader here in this class.
That's right, Preston. Our fearless leader, AP, has had an amazing opportunity in his life.
Yep, he's going to Australia for track. Let's hear more about that with Judah and Jackson.
While there are many exceptional people in Spectrum, some are recognized and some are not. One particularly exceptional person is being particularly recognized.
I think he's always been a very gifted athlete. We were sad to see him go. He was a very fast running back for us, and was always very willing to do what we asked. He was very coachable, solid guy, and I'm happy that he's having success in a sport.
His name is AP of our own Noise News crew, our fearless leader, a great student, and an exceptional athlete.
AP has been working his whole life to get to the point where he is now.
You definitely have to put in the work on and off the track, because track, one thing about it is that running really requires a lot of your body being in shape, right? So it's not just being like on the courts or blah 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 and practicing like that. You're always practicing your endurance and speed, and that's one thing that I really find about it. It's almost much more of a lifestyle.
Yeah, for track, in order to be successful in track, you have to have a lot of internal motivation and a lot of desire to do to achieve your goals. And so he's always been very motivated and always wants to do his best. And it's taken him a long ways.
Adrian has been invited to go to Australia to perform in an international track event and represent the United States with a team of other athletes who have measured up as he did.
Going to Australia is pretty crazy in the way that I'll be just turning 17 at the time, and I'm going essentially by myself. Like I only know one other person that's going, and it's really scary because I don't know my competition or who will all be there in general, and that's one thing that I'm slightly fearful of.
This has been Judah
And Jackson.
coming at you with some
Noise News.
Wow, what a great way to end off this show.
Agreed. Well, this has been Jesse Hansen.
I'm Preston Holmes, keeping you in on the noise.